Forget Gojo, forget Sukuna. The most dangerous sorcerer in all of JJK right now is Higurama. And if you want to argue about it, bring the smoke because I got time for this shit. The Gavel Bender has one of the most broken ability in the entire series. It doesn't matter how strong you are or who you are. Once you step into his domain, it's finito. Your chin is getting checked. Your cheeks are getting clapped, and not even Saul Guzman can save you. So let's take a look at what the fuck makes this guy extremely dangerous. So who the fuck is Higurama? Higurama wasn't always like this. He was a genius lawyer at the very top of his class, and he was so cracked that he was given the chance to become a judge while in school. Let that sink in. Even in the US alone, you have to become a lawyer for like 8 or 10 years before you get offered or you qualify to become a judge. That's how intelligent or how smart this nigga was. Higurama is a better man than me because he turned it down, because I would have been gone the next day. School be stressing me out. I just want to make some bread. He rather chose the harder path, a defense attorney. And if you know anything about Japan's legal system, the conviction rate is around 99%. Meaning once you're accused, you better start practicing your anti-soap dropping techniques. Your grip on the soap better be as strong as OBJ's catch, or else these odds are worse than finding the same person on Twitter or COD actually getting rid of the hackers or GTA dropping tomorrow. But the Gavel Bender didn't care. He was taking cases with a 0.001 chance of winning, and that's not confidence, that's pure ego. Higurama always picked the toughest cases he could ever find in a country with a 99% conviction rate. That's how confident this guy was. His client decided to grab a murder weapon, put it in his apartment, and run when he saw the cop. This gotta be the dumbest individual in the entire world. Not even Isaac Newton could explain the thought process behind all his actions. But Higurama still wanted to defend this guy. And in the first trial, Higurama actually won against all the odds. He pulled off an impossible shot, an impossible bucket, but the court said, nah, we don't do that here, and jailed the man anyways. And that was his breaking point. The system was so rigged that bro was just basically arguing with a brick wall. The corrupt system made him fall into a pit of darkness and negative energy deeper than Drake's PR team. All his evidence which proved his client was innocent was just thrown to the side like it was nothing. Bro was tired of seeing innocent locked up, guilty walking free, and that's when he realized the world will always fall into corruption. As I always say, corruption is only bad
if I'm not involved.
This awakened his Black Air Force energy, and he took matters into his own hands.
Everyone come back.
Once Kinjaku activated the calling games, he awakened cursed energy in a bunch of random ass people who had no idea about Jujutsu or curses or anything. And Higurama was one of those randoms, but he was a special random. Not only did he have zero sorceress training, he also had no idea about cursed energy and curses, no family legacy to rely on, no Zenin or Gojo stimulus check, and somehow got his curse technique and domain expansion basically on day one. While some other sorcerers like Nanami, Todo spent years and still couldn't achieve it. Yuji, the main character of the show, still doesn't have his own curse technique, like bro, and this guy already has his. That is how insane he is. This man got a full package on day one. And you're probably wondering, Influence, why you glazing like that? Well, this guy is special, bro. He's not just an ordinary jujutsu person. Okay, this guy's out here doing things that other people couldn't do. Nanami tried so many times and still couldn't achieve that shit. So obviously I'm gonna glaze him, I'm gonna lick his balls. I'll be sick to my stomach if I had no domain after 10 years of training, just starving myself, skipping my Domino's breakfast, not using Uber Eats, and training day in and day out. And this random ass depressed guy gets everything I couldn't. I'll be his Kendrick Lamar. I will be his 50 Cent. I'll be hating with all my heart. And to make matters worse, in just 12 days, Higurama went from Harvey Specter to a grade 1 sorcerer, faster than the post-breakup Taylor Swift album.
So take a look what you've done.
This man was just speed running everything, making Jujutsu look like a joke. And if he started Jujutsu at a very young age, who knows what level this nigga will be at. But basically, he's the embodiment of injustice. Every corrupt case, every unfair verdict, all of that negative energy became his power. Now let me explain what makes this nigga extremely dangerous. His domain expansion is what makes him extremely dangerous. His domain is completely different than every other domain in JJK. Most domains are just redneck choke. Regardless what you do, there's almost no way out. Some manage to get out, but it's mostly impossible. Taking a step into Sukuna's domain expansion will turn you into a screen victim, and every domain follows the same formula. Step in, get absolutely destroyed, or survive and pray. It's just straight up violent, but Higurama changed everything. His domain expansion doesn't do all that. His domain expansion is called deadly sentencing. This domain is built different. Yes, it creates a courtroom with a person caught in the domain as the defender, Higurama as the prosecutor, and the judgment as the judge, jury, and executioner. And violence is also strictly forbidden. While you're in this domain, nobody can throw hands. Doesn't matter if you're Sukuna or Gojo, you just can't attack anybody. Then the judgment picks up a random crime. A random crime, it doesn't matter how little it was or how long it was, the judgment wouldn't let it slide. He, she, or it basically knows everything about you, including your deepest, darkest secret, even before you even say a word. He got the receipts, the screenshots, the 4K footage of every sin you ever committed. There is no lie in this world that could save you. And I know some of you watching this video right now would not survive 10 seconds in this courtroom. Your browser history alone is a life sentence. Higurama then gets the evidence from the judgment and presents it to you, and you have to defend yourself. If you lie,
Guilty.
if you stutter,
Guilty.
if you can't explain your browser history,
Guilty.
but it gets worse from here. A guilty verdict is worse than the patrol's defense. Cause one of the things that happens is 1.
Confiscation.
2.
Death penalty!
In confiscation, your cursed energy gets younged for no reason, like taking you from a sorcerer to a regular civilian in a matter of seconds.
My name is Jeff.
And that's not all. If you commit a much serious crime or the judgment finds that you've done something crazy, you will get a death penalty. Higurama gets the executioner's sword, and the sword is part of the reason why I'm telling you this fuck nigga Higurama is the most dangerous sorcerer alive, because what it does is genuinely broken. The sword doesn't just cut you, it doesn't just damage you, it goes straight for your soul. One hit and you are dead. This isn't Dragon Ball, there is no coming back from this. It doesn't matter if you have infinite health or crazy regeneration, this sword doesn't care. One touch and you're meeting Kobe, MJ and Kim Vaughn in the same place. It's the ultimate one tap. Also, one thing about this sword is that if there are multiple souls in one body, the sword kills only the guilty one and leaves the innocent one completely untouched. His domain is basically overpowered, because how do you counter something like this? How do you counter being forced into a courtroom where you can't fight back, where Shigami is judging you based on things you actually did like years ago? There is basically no hope. Now let's talk about the Gavel Bender versus Yuji. Even with Yuji's experience as a sorcerer, any random person watching that scene with no idea about JJK will probably think Higurama is on the same level as Yuji, or even better than Yuji. Yuji got hit with a gambling charge and things that he did like 20 years ago or something, and also got hit with the Sukuna's crimes. And if anybody else was in Yuji's shoes, they probably would have been dead. This fight show Yuji is a dog. He got a dog in him, and that's the reason why he's the main character. But Higurama's main power is his brain. Not only did he not receive any training, he reverse engineered the entire power system. He looked at the source code of his own domain and taught himself Jujutsu like he was studying for the bar exams. He skipped tutorials, side quests, and basically went straight to the final boss. In the calling games, Higurama eliminated at least 60 sorcerers after just getting his curse technique some few days ago, going head to head with Kashimo, who basically is a reincarnated certified demon. The only disadvantage of his domain is that the sword is not a guaranteed hit, so he actually has to put in the work. If Higurama is not able to touch you, then you are free. But apart from that, he doesn't actually need to catch you though. He just needs to touch you or scratch you a little bit and you are cooked. Imagine if he actually started Jujutsu at a very young age. The potential is uncapped. Even Gojo didn't put up such good numbers. Gojo even struggled to fully master reverse curse technique until my homie Toji chopped him up into medium rare. Now the question is, could he beat Gojo or Sukuna? Well, if you watched the anime recently, he almost, if he knew anything about Sukuna, he could have actually ended Sukuna right there. But he didn't do it, he just stopped. But if he actually went ahead and used the sword on Yuji, Sukuna would have been a gone boy. Higurama versus Sukuna in a normal fight, Higurama is getting cooked. But if he manages to get his domain off, that's a different conversation. He has a possibility of winning. If Gojo gets hit with confiscation, he loses his infinity and limitless at the same time. But Gojo's got hands, we all saw what he did to black men. But without his hacks, Higurama still has a chance. And for Sukuna in general, bro is getting charged with mass murder, war crimes, plus 10,000 other crimes. Giving him the death penalty wouldn't even be enough. But he'll probably get deleted too, because the sword targets the soul, as I already said, and the guilty one is the one who gets deleted. So Higurama probably would have ended the show earlier, as I see. So before I get into this is spoiler alert. This is in the manga. You can skip this part if you want. In the manga, we get to see how smart Higurama really is. His insane evolution does not just stop at the calling games. He goes on to master reverse curse technique and domain amplification while in the middle of a fight. That's how insane this guy really is. Something that took the great Gojo years to achieve, this guy achieved it easily while actively being threatened with death. Even Sukuna acknowledged him, saying he has the same potential as Gojo. Sukuna actually saying someone has the same potential as Gojo. Just think about that. A guy just started playing basketball 12 days ago. He goes to the NBA court and basically drops 60 on the NBA players. A rookie coming off the bench and dropping 70 points on LeBron James' bald head. This is just pure unfiltered talent. So this explains why Higurama is the most dangerous sorcerer, or if not the most dangerous, one of the top 3 most dangerous sorcerers in JJK right now, because he has so much potential, so much evolution. His domain is extremely scary. He's the only one who could seal you and execute you in the same breath. If you don't kill him in the first 5 minutes, Because by the time he says all rise, you're already a dead man walking. Because his domain is a redneck joke. You are cooked, and the scariest part is that you might not even know what you did wrong. You might have forgotten about it entirely or deleted every possible evidence. But in his core, it doesn't matter. Once the verdict is in, you're already cooked. That's my take. If you think I'm wrong, comment down below and I'm ready for all the smoke. If you disagree, drop who you think the most dangerous sorcerer is, and if you agree to, comment down below. Let me know what video you want to see next. If you're new here, like, subscribe. I'll catch you all later. Au revoir.